I guess I should turn off my PlayStation.
Are we live? Okay.
No, we are. We didn't even have the.
We didn't even have the intro. Oh, I think we're in the wrong style. Hold on.
Oh yeah, we're in Christmas.
There we go. Now we're here. Well, folks. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the PlayStation Drive. This is episode 131. My name's Matt, and I'll be your host for today's.
You might as well just keep the Christmas background now. What's the difference?
Chloe,
you know what? Go with the Christmas theme. I'm wearing my Grinch shirt.
Let's run it. Wow. There we go. Now it feels right. I'm not gonna do the whole reintroduction, but now I feel better. Now this feels proper. Welcome back, folks. My name is Matt. I'll be your host. We're joined, as always, by the Supreme Court of Canada himself, Mr. Court Lalonde. What's up, Court?
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
I don't know. I don't know, man. It's Monday. Monday.
What is that even?
Like you asked a question I didn't really have an answer for. I'm like, I this morning my daughter made me wear a Grinch shirt because she's wearing one today. So
fair.
I feel like I just got a lot on my plate. I gotta like finish off some like stocking stuffer stuff, and I'm trying to play other games, but I've got to play a game I'm going to talk about today in Avatar Frontier. I'm having fun with it, but I'm like, Jesus, Lego Fortnite. That's good. Yeah,
really?
It's good. Yeah, it's good. I can play it with my daughter. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
We're going to get into all of the fun stuff because I've also been playing the fork knife, and we'll talk about all that a lot more. But folks, let's clean this garage of ours for the last time this year. Folks who haven't been along the ride too much, this is going to be our last show for the year of the Lord 2023. We are still going to have
that year of the Lord thing.
I like it. It's dumb, but I enjoy it. We're going to have a Game of the Year episode go up around Christmas, which will have the entire Carpool Gaming hosts together, where we're going to talk about our Game of the Year. It's a big, giant episode comprised of everything. Next week will be something, I think. I don't know. Maybe there's a break next week. There's things over the course of the next week.
We're recording tonight. Isn't that next week?
Probably. Anyways, there will be stuff over the next couple of weeks, and we'll be back in full capacity next year. So I just want to quickly at the top of the show, before we get into anything else, just want to say thank you to all of the listeners. If you've engaged with us, if you've sent us lovely messages, if you've hung out with us, if you've listened to the show at all over the course of the last calendar year, we appreciate you. Any support that you may have given us, or even just lending an ear, if we were there for you at all, that's what makes all of this worth it. So, Court, I want to say thank you to you as well. I've loved doing the show with you this year. Genuinely one of my favorite parts of the week, each and every week. Getting to screw around and hang out and talk PlayStation and make stupid jokes at one another is consistently one of the best parts of my week. So thank you for rolling with the punches and having fun with me each and every week. And we'll be back for more. But I just wanted to kick things off with the thank you to the community, with the thank you to everybody who's backed us, who's been along for the ride, and a thank you to you, Court, for being beautiful.
Wow. Thank you too, Matt. Everything Matt, I'm gonna echo everything Matt said, because yes, it's been a great time. I've had fun, even taking shots at each other just for fun about RPGs, because they are what they are. But I truly do love the Carpool community, and I love chatting with everybody, and I love literally when I'm having a bad Monday, and Mondays are like the worst days of the week. It's great to sit here and chat to you, Matt, and change that mood from whatever mood, like literally when we started before this, when I was like, I just not feeling anything today, to, in a better mood just by seeing your face, is what we'll call it, a face. Sure.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely been an incredible experience. Once again, thank you to everybody. Thank you. If you're watching us live right now on youtube.com/carpool gaming, make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, hit us with that follow, hit us with that bell. So when things go live, if you have bucks to toss our way, head to patreon.com/carpool gaming, toss in bucks there. Out comes a cornucopia of content for you to consume at your at your convenience. That's the word I was looking for. And if you're listening to this on your podcast services, hit us with that 5-star, that follow, that subscribe, leave us that wonderful review, and we appreciate all of you so very much. This week's show, we're going to be talking about some of our favorite games on PlayStation this year. We're going to be talking about a little bit of a PlayStation in review. We're going to be talking about PlayStation Plus and a couple other things, and of course wrapping with some questions from this wonderful community of ours. But without further ado, Court, we have to kick things off as we have each and every week over the course of the last year. What's been on your playlist, my friend?
Dude, playlist is just, it's, as I said before, it's becoming a jumbled mess. So I came to the realization last night that I like live service games, which is not something I'd ever say. But right now, currently, I am trying to play the new season of Call of Duty. But then Matt and friend of the show, Steve Vigvari, got me to download Fortnite. And I like that too. And I'm playing that with my daughter. So we've been playing the Lego Fortnite. It is phenomenal. Like when she gets home from school today, she's like, "Can we play it again?" I'm like, "Yes." And
so are you like logged into 2 separate accounts playing together, or are you like playing together?
Yeah. So she goes in. So remember, I have a mountain of PlayStations, right?
Right. No, that I know.
Yes. So I created her an account, and she is downstairs. I am downstairs, and she is in my office, and we play.
Heck yeah. I think I'm going to try and get Senna to play with me as well. I feel like she'd like it because from what I understand, it's very much more like Stardew Valley than it is Battle Royale Fortnite.
So much fun. It's just fun. Dude, like you don't have to worry about anything. You just have fun. Like she just builds and I just collect and get stuff for her to build. I just help her out. Way too much fun. I am also playing, Jesus, I'm just like in my brain. So Call of Duty, Fortnite, NHL. Still, I literally was playing it right before we started the show. And I have been playing Avatars, Frontiers of Pandora, thanks to our friends over at Ubisoft Canada. Thank you for providing me a code. And I really like the game, and I've just been having a lot of time. I did have my struggles with the game at first. Until you get a mount, it takes the traversal. To me, it's interesting. I saw a lot of people like, "Oh, I really like the traversal." I was like, "Man, it takes you a really long time to get across that map." But now that I have a mount, I'm literally just going from Ubisoft in the game, going point to point. Because yes, there is on the map. There's little glowing dots that show you little pinpoints you got to go. First, it's clouded like any map nowadays, and then as soon as you go to that area, it unclouds. Now, a lot of people were saying that it's just a Far Cry clone. I don't really believe it is. I guess you can say that any first-person action game that is,
set in an open world.
Yeah, that's a Far Cry clone, but they've kind of turned it on its head and kind of done something different. They made it more Avatar-y. There are things that do remind me a lot of Far Cry, but that's because it's a Ubisoft game, 1. And 2, I really like Far Cry, but Massive has done a phenomenal job with this game. I really love the fact that when you take over these facilities that you take over, and yes, you do go find facilities and take over, but the purpose of them is not to unlock the map or do this. It's actually to regenerate the growth of the vegetation in that area. So the pollution from these factories is causing the world to die, Pandora. You have to take out these factories in order to revive Pandora. And then once you do that, it will unlock more activities in that area to go do and upgrade your Navi and all that kind of stuff. I didn't care when I did the character creation screen. They have a very in-depth character. I just don't care. I just picked a character, randomized it, and just went. You get a couple weapons. You do get an assault rifle. You can pick up other weapons. I haven't got to the rocket launcher or anything like that yet. I do find the combat to be great. I am trying to be more stealthy and come from the back. I have learned how to take over the facilities now without attacking because the RDA, which are the enemies, they're tough. They're in mech suits and they'll take you out real quick. So that is one of the things. You die a lot in this game if you're not careful. But there is lots to do in the world. There's lots to uncover. There's lots to the upgrading systems. The map is very expansive. But like I said, my biggest gripe with it was getting across the map. It's coming out at a perfect time. I really do think this is the perfect game to get after the holidays and just give yourself something to play if you got a new console or if you just want something to just turn your mind off and play, because the combat is fun. The story is decent. I'm not a big Avatar fan, I would say. I've tried 3 times now to watch the second movie, and I just can't get through it. But it's a different story. It takes place between the first and second movie, but it's a whole new Avatar story. It has nothing. If you haven't seen the movies, who cares? Just
Mhm.
go in and play it. You'll have a lot of fun with it. If you like first person action games where you're going and blowing up things, like you're in. I will say
Yep.
this though, weird thing. So there's two settings. There's performance and fidelity. The water looks weird in the game. Like it doesn't look
Really?
good. Yeah, I think my issue is I've played a lot of Ubisoft games and they're usually the attention to detail is unbelievable. For some reason, the water is meh, but the vegetation is unbelievable. There's a lot going on the screen, so I want to cut them some slack. I know in Horizon is always like the pinnacle of what vegetation and what the world should look like as you're going through. But Horizon does have a lot of open space. This is literally like vegetation over vegetation over vegetation. And the coloring of everything is so unreal that changes between night.
Mhm.
So as soon as night hits, everything is like glow in the dark and neon,
Mhm.
which is very cool. There's lots of places in the world to explore, caves to explore, and so on and so forth. There's a lot to do in this game. And it is a typical Ubisoft game. And that's why when people were like, oh, it's a Far Cry clone, I'm like, pretty much all Ubisoft games have a path that they go
DNA
on.
to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. There's a whole bunch of things to do on the map and go do it. I like that kind of thing. But from the PlayStation perspective, the DualSense does have some cool functionalities, especially with your bow. You do feel the haptics, but the trophies, they don't pop like you would think. Like it's a lot of collect all these things to pop trophies. So like every trophy in this game is like rare or very rare. Or I've only popped like 4 and I've put in like 7 hours into this game.
Really? So it's
Yeah.
very much more of a collectathon on the trophy side.
Yes. And the story. So like I've progressed in the story enough to get my mount, but yet I've popped 1 story trophy. It's very
Okay.
interesting. I was actually in shock. Like 4 hours in, I didn't have a trophy. I was like, what? But trophy tracking has been put into the game. So if you do buy this game and you're trying to do certain things, you can see what your percentage is and know what you need to do.
There you go. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it so far. Like the game does look fun. And general impressions online seem to just think that people do like it. And people seem to really enjoy it or
Fun.
kind of say it's all right. It's something that I'll probably check out at some point because I do like Far Cry and I'm not the biggest Avatar fan, but it does look just kind of like a turn your brain off and play
It's not game of
and
the
just enjoy
year.
it.
Yeah, it's not game
Yeah.
of the year. It's just fun.
It's just fun. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Yeah. As for myself, similarly, I've gone down the live service rabbit hole over the last little while. Still playing a bunch of Modern Warfare 3 with that new season live. I actually went in. I will say that Battle Pass god awful. The way that thing is laid out and like trying to figure out what to click and just give it to me on a line.
Thank you.
My lizard brain just needs to see what it is. I got so confused, especially because there's like multiple entry points. I do like the idea that like as you unlock, there's different like pathways to go to unlock more, but like that map is just gobbledygook. Like it's like it was so hard to read. So I will say that much. But like again, I've unlocked some cool stuff on there. Because we got the Vault Edition. So I was checking a bunch of stuff out.
What's your
Still
favorite new
tons
map?
of fun. I actually haven't seen a lot of them yet. I've been loading into
Reese by far. You
a lot
can
of the old
dive
maps.
into the water and come up behind people. So awesome.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. I'm excited to check it out. I've been playing a bunch of Fortnite as well. I'm playing a bunch of time in no build. Got a bunch of dubs, so that always feels good. Love going up in little mountains and making my way down all stealthy like. And I tried the rocket racing mode developed by Psyonix, the makers of Rocket League. It's great. It feel like again, handful of wins in my first couple races. Feels great. It's a ton of fun. Playing all this on my Steam Deck through xCloud is just wild. The fact that there's like next to no latency, like unbelievable. So I'm curious on what the Portal.
Are you able to play remote play through Steam Deck for PlayStation?
You are, yes. So yeah, I would tell you go with the Portal over the Steam Deck unless you're going to be going into Steam.
Can't get one.
I know they're gonzo. They're gonzo.
They don't exist.
They're so sold out. And then I've been playing a game that I can't talk about yet, but we'll have something on the channel soon for that.
Oh, yeah, that reminded me. Sorry, my bad. I can talk about this. Tomorrow I will be starting the beta for Skull and Bones.
Yo ho, yo
I know.
ho,
but I'm gonna stream it on the Carpool Twitch channel. I'm also gonna be streaming season 2 of oh, my brain's just not working right now. I'm gonna be streaming some Ubisoft games on the Carpool channel for the next. So we might be off, but for time to time, I'm just gonna pop in on the Twitch channel and stream Skull and Bones.
Well, there you go. Go to twitch.tv/Carpool Gaming Live to see Court become a pirate. So make sure you go check that out. I've been still playing Persona 5 Tactica, still really enjoying that. I feel like there was one other thing in my mind that I wanted to talk about that so far is eluding me. But I've been playing the Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn expansion. I'll have a review up on Console Creatures in the next little bit.
You got a lot on the go.
Yeah, almost done it. I'm at the final dungeon, so you'll see a review from me there in the next little while. If you're curious, it's good. It's good. It's not great. If you liked Tales of Arise, you'll enjoy what this is. But it's a little more linear than I think I was expecting. When Tales of Arise was like this big epic adventure, this feels very much like the follow-up to Act 2, which I don't think was as good as Act 1. But the combat's still great. The game is still beautiful. Story is okay. But yeah, definitely. Something to keep your eye on. Head to consolecreatures.com. You'll see my review there in the next few days. But without further ado, my dude, we're gonna hit one news story quickly. We're gonna just talk about the Game Awards. There was a bunch of PlayStation announcements that we'll cover very quickly, and then we'll move on to talking all things PlayStation in 2023. So coming from Console Creatures, we got a recap of the Game Awards here. We're just gonna fly through some of these. We're not gonna be touching all of this.
Oh, I forgot about the Game Awards. It was like, what are we going to talk about?
Right? That just happened. There was a bunch of cool indies showing off.
The Game Awards forgot about the Game Awards too. So what's the difference?
There was a bunch of cool indies shown off. Metaphor ReFantazio, obviously, I'm still hyped about. Fall 2024. That's the game from the Persona team. Exodus was a game that we saw. That was the one with Matthew McConaughey. That looked interesting enough.
All right.
God of War Ragnarok.
Dude, this was so cool. And it's not what I expected. Like, to be totally honest with you, it's not what I expected at all.
God of War Ragnarok Valhalla coming to PS4 and PS5. It's free DLC coming out tomorrow. If you're listening to this on your podcast services of choice, it's coming out today. For anybody who's watching live, it's coming out tomorrow. It is a roguelike mode that they're bringing into God of War, where you're as Kratos. Obviously, you'll go and kick a whole bunch of butt. But Court, this is not what I was expecting from God of War.
Spoiler alert, I was expecting Atreus. That's what I was expecting.
So, like, what are you thinking in terms? Do you think this is it for God of War?
I don't. I think this is just since it's free. I think it's just a new game mode that they originally wanted in the game, possibly, or they were thinking about putting in the game because everybody wants to have a roguelike version in the game. You making the joke last week and then it coming out was way too funny. But I don't. I think we are going to be getting some sort of story. Bit because this is coming out I know it's a year later, but I want to hope that we're getting that DLC story small bit. Like we talked about this last night, you and I, about how PlayStation does such a good job with like Miles Morales and the DLCs for their games, that I really hope this isn't just it. I think that's more of it. It could be, but I hope it isn't.
Yeah, I'm of two minds. Like, if this is it, I think it's at least a cool way for players who really love this game, and the combat's obviously a big part of it. It's a ton of fun to engage with this game even more. But yeah, I do hope we're getting some more story stuff. But this is cool. It's a free announcement. If you have the game, you're getting this tomorrow or today, depending when you're listening. I'm kind of jumping past a lot of the cool indie stuff just for the sake of time, but there is a lot there.
Well, the Sega thing.
Big Walk was cool. No Rest for the Wicked. I can't even remember what this was. So whatever. Yeah, Sega did a whole thing. Man. We don't know release platforms. You would have to assume it's probably going to hit every major console.
For sure.
But they're doing a super game project. They're bringing back Jet Set Radio, Shinobi, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Crazy Taxi, and more. All of these things are now in development, and they look to be like full out remakes. These don't look like to be just quick Konami-esque ports that they just threw onto the service. These look to be from the ground up, either whether they're remakes or they're new experiences or whatever. But yeah, I'm stoked on Crazy Taxi.
Yes.
I know a lot of people really love Jet Set Radio. I've never played it, so this would be a cool way for me to engage with it. But there's some really, really cool stuff here. Court, where are you at on this one?
I'm right there with you. I think this is very cool. I am all for remakes. There's a lot of games that we played, and I'll say it 500th time in a row here, Infamous, that I would love for them to just go out and make again. They keep saying how hard it is to make on next-gen consoles, and it's easier to do these remasters and remakes. Well, guess what? You know what? There's a lot of people that have never Gauntlet. Like, So, like,
Yeah,
honestly,
dude.
I can't wait to play these games. Bring back some of these games that are from, like, Xbox 3 generation and back. Give us some
Mhm.
remakes, or PlayStation 3, Xbox, you know what I mean? Give us
Yeah.
some remakes, ground up, give us these games again. I get it, everybody wants new IP, but guess what? Some of these games are a lot of fun. You know what?
Yep.
It's not that big of a deal, and if it takes less time for the developers to make these, let's do it. Let's think about it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm in. A bunch of these look cool, and again, some of these games I've never even experienced. So having an opportunity to have them all glowed up and looking nice, I'm in. Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero got me hyped. I love Budokai Tenkaichi. Very, very stoked for this coming back. We just got a
So
quick
many
trailer.
words I didn't understand.
Yeah, get stoked. Visions of Mana, I know Ryan was very excited about. Rise of the Ronin, this is a PS5 console exclusive that we're getting.
So I'm excited if there's a so from what I understand, I might be able to play this game because there is difficulty settings in this game.
Yeah, Koei Tecmo usually has some sort of difficulty sliders on their stuff. I don't think this is as much near sorry, not near.
Not
What am I thinking of?
Bloodborne-ish. It's not
No,
Bloodborne.
the samurai Bloodborne, like not Sekiro. There was the Neo. I
Neo.
don't know if this is Neo like this. There was a lot of enemies on screen. It's a whole lot happening. This looks cool. Very, very
It looks amazing. Let's be
it looks
honest.
awesome.
It looks
Yeah.
awesome. And I'm
I
really
think this
hoping
looks
because, like, Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favorite games, and I love the combat, and the combat looks a lot like that, and the
mhm,
timepiece and all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, if, like, please, 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 it's like, Jedi Survivor, where you can play it on ridiculously hard parry mode and have fun and dying all the time,
mhm.
or you can play it and still have fun with the game. I know the
And
developers can make choices, but I'm just
yeah, dude,
hoping
like
that
this looks
all people can play this.
yeah, dude, this looks awesome. Like I said, PS5 console exclusive coming on March 22nd. So we have something to look forward to in the first couple months of next year. Thank you for not putting this in February when there's enough games coming out. I'm stoked on this. I thought this was a great piece of the PlayStation puzzle in 2024, and something that we've been asking for to see, which is just more PlayStation centric stuff for 2024. We got Outlast Trials OD,
Jurassic Park.
was
Oh my
cool.
god, it looks so good. I
Okay,
don't care. I'm a big
Court, you do
Jurassic
it.
Park fan, and it's just wow. It's a single player. Like I originally thought when I first saw it, I was like, oh, we're just getting like a VR or like a mobile game or something. And then when I
Mhm.
finally see it, I'm like, somebody's taking a crack at it. So from what I'm seeing, it's just a trailer.
Yeah.
It is a wait and see because a lot of movie tie-in games are big misses. But it's at the Game Awards, so my hope is that this game is good. Because they did a lot of fan service in this trailer, like beyond fan service.
Yeah, I thought even like I've watched the original. I don't have a ton of memories from it, but
Yeah,
I think even
were
just
you
like
even born?
no,
Yeah, okay, that's
I don't
why.
think so.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think this looks like I'm very very curious to see more. I think you're right. Like historically, movie tie-ins have been hit or miss. I hope we're in a world now where that's no longer the case. But yeah, I'm curious to see more from this for sure. Rocket Racing, which we talked about, Black Myth Wukong, we're going to skip past because go read Rebecca's Valentine's article on IGN. Ready or not, yeah. As Dusk Falls, I know a lot of
Coming to
people in the
PS5. I
coming
really
to
like this
PS5.
game.
Yeah,
I would highly suggest anybody on the PlayStation platform to play this game. I had a very good time with this game.
yeah. Surprised it's coming because it wasn't Xbox exclusive. It's coming at March 7th. This is very much like your Until Dawn, supermassive style game where you're making choices. I've always been meaning to play this. I just never got around to it, so maybe this will be a good reason for me to check it out because
I'm going to play it again because I will say this. I got to review it thanks to Xbox Canada, but none of the achievements popped. And then when the game finally was released, the achievements didn't pop even when I turned it back on. So I was like, boo earns to that. So 100% probably going to get this and play through it again and get some trophies.
Yeah, dude. I'm excited to check it out. This is one of my favorite reveals of the show, Tales of Kinzera Zhao, coming to pretty much everything on April 23rd. Abu Bakr Salim, who is an actor and a voice actor, came on stage talking about his very, like, the reason why he got into this, about the loss of his father, about wanting to honor his heritage. And so he decided to make a game looking incredible in this clip, by the way. But the game looks really, really cool. It's a ton of color, looks very, very stylistic. It looks almost like very, very Prince of Persia, Metroidvania-esque.
Like Guacamelee.
Yeah, Guacamole, like it looks awesome, and I'm very, very, very excited about this one. I thought, again, one of my favorite reveals of the show. Definitely one that I think deserves to be highlighted here.
Looks really
I
hard though. Like, let's be honest here. This game
it does
looks
look
hard.
tough.
Yeah,
It does look tough.
it looks very tough. Like I've seen preview events for Prince of Persia, and people are like, "Oh, that game's hard." Like Jesus.
I encourage people to go watch the whole video. You can catch it on YouTube or here on Console Creatures. It's very nicely hosted for you. Abu Bakar's speech is a good one, and I think this is worth checking out. It looks really, really cool. Lost Records, also coming from the team that made it's Don't Nod. They made Life is Strange. Again, not a big Life is Strange person, but I think this looks interesting.
Hey, look, it's my teenage years. Now they're video games.
Yeah, there you go. Retro games. First Berserker. Kazan got a thing that's coming from based apparently on an anime or something.
No one cares about this show, that game. No one cares. Yeah.
Marvel's Blade, I'm stoked, but we don't know if it's coming to PlayStation or not. But
I don't think it is. Let's be honest here. I truly think for this situation here, this is straight up. They've had so much go in the courts right now. They don't need any more fuel to the fire because they're still dealing with the FTC. But game looks great. I'll play it on Xbox. Can't wait.
Yep, stoked. No Man's Sky developers, Hello Games, showed off Light No Fire. This is basically what if No Man's Sky was Earth, where you have a massive Earth to explore. Looks cool. I'm curious to see more. That's age restricted. Final Fantasy 16 got DLC shadow drop called Echoes of the Fallen, and confirmation that there's more coming next year. I haven't hopped back in to check this out as of yet, but I'm planning to because Rising Tide is the one coming out next year, sometime spring. But I'm in. Takes place before the end of the game, so I'm stoked to check those out. Court, any interest to go back to Final Fantasy 16?
No, but I do have interest to buy Alan Wake 2 as soon as it goes on sale.
Oh, dude, you need to. So
yeah,
good.
No, I know you. I guarantee I like this game. Control I finished on Xbox. I finished it on PlayStation. I love that game. I didn't like Alan Wake 1, but that was back in the Xbox 360 days. Let's be honest here. Alan Wake 2 looks so good.
It's phenomenal, dude. So good. The finals got a stealth drop. You can go check that out if you're interested. And they closed the show off with Monster Hunter Wilds coming sometime in 2025 to PS5, Series X and S, and PC. I'm stoked. I loved Worlds. It was the first proper Monster Hunter that got me in. I really enjoyed the one that came to Switch after, which I'm blanking out, I think Rise. Also a great time. The graphics in this look incredible. The amount of monsters on screen and everything just looks wild. I'm absolutely amped on this. Court, did Monster Hunter Worlds ever grab you? Did you ever give it a go?
No, never played it. So I've just never played it. I think, once again, another live service game here, Matt. Do I need another one? This came out the same time as the Division 2. So Division 2 was the first season or something about the Division 2.
It was around the same timing or something. Yeah.
Well, the Division 2 was already out, but I know a lot of people were trying to get me into Monster Hunter, and I was like, well, I'm playing this season. I think, it was the Gangs of New York DLC came out at the exact same time. I hopped into that and never got into Monster Hunter. My co-host on Three Dads, Pez, loves Monster Hunter and tells me, like, if I get in and start playing with him, it's over. Like, I'm in.
Yeah, I can see a world. I can see a world where you enjoy it. I don't know if it's a lock, to be honest.
Fair, okay.
But I do see a world where you do enjoy it. It's just entirely dependent on the weapon that you kind of vibe with. Because if you find a weapon that's right for you, literally that game is make or break depending on the weapon that you enjoy using. It just takes the time to put in to find that weapon. I can genuinely see you enjoying this at if depending on what else comes around it. And we're just gonna quickly highlight one more thing that I encourage everybody to go read on Console Creatures as well, because we missed talking about this last week and I don't want to let this go by. Luke Williams did a fantastic review of the PlayStation Access controller over on Console Creatures, talking at length about his experiences with it and what he likes and what he doesn't like, but with a verdict basically overall saying that this is a great piece of tech. Super informative. There's a bunch of videos. Luke does a great job here. So I just encourage people to check this out because, we've been celebrating PlayStation and their accessibility features, and the fact that they're finally doing this is just awesome. So I just encourage everybody to go take a read. I think this is just something that's really, really cool and should be highlighted. So go check out Luke's review. Again, shout out PlayStation for doing the Access controller. Finally, it's something that a lot of people have been asking about. And anything that brings more people into gaming and let them play the way that's comfortable for them and allows them to play the way that they want is a huge win. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight this. I just wanted to shout this out. Without further ado, dude, we're gonna talk about PlayStation in 2023 because I've taken some notes. I've prepared some research. This year, 2023, Court, was an interesting one for PlayStation. Okay, in terms of actual first-party exclusives, there was one in Marvel Spider-Man 2. We got the PC port of The Last of Us Part 1 in March, which was an issue in and of itself. PSVR 2 launched in February. We got stuff like Horizon Call of the Mountain. We also got Burning Shores, the expansion for Forbidden West, in April. Final Fantasy 16 hit, which was, again, console exclusive, so we can kind of chalk one up as well. Baldur's Gate 3 was exclusive for the longest time, just recently, literally as of the Game Awards.
Dropped during the Game Awards.
Yep. And no, not brought up at all for whatever reason.
Well, supposedly they were going to bring it up during one of their speeches, but the hurry up thing came on.
Oh, they played them off? Of course. Forspoken hit at the beginning of this year, not one that I'm sure we can't forget. And there was a bunch of indie games as well that were console exclusive this year with like Season and Chia, Viewfinder. We got a bunch of obviously VR exclusive stuff like Synapse. But Court, how do you feel about PlayStation in 2023? Are you happy with the way that this year went? Do you feel like they could have done better? Do you think that there should have been more first party stuff? What are your thoughts on PlayStation in 2023?
Well, we got The Last of Us and we got Spider-Man 2. So that I'm happy, but I'm not happy.
This was PC.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, because it was the end of last year, right? That we got The Last of Us Part 1. So yeah, then totally no. I shouldn't say I'm when I'm saying I'm happy that I got to play Spider-Man 2, but I think this was a meh year for PlayStation. And that's the best way to describe it because it was a lot of third-party first console exclusive stuff. It wasn't like they were the talk. Like PlayStation brought out the PSVR 2 and brought out an amazing game in Horizon Call of the Mountain. And then I don't feel like I got anything else. I was actually shocked and saddened by the fact that Assassin's Creed Nexus VR didn't come to PlayStation VR 2, or the fact that we didn't get any first-party PlayStation games after Horizon that had some sort of, PSVR 2 thing. Like, it's very cool that we're getting Valhalla for God of War, but man, it would have been so awesome if we got some sort of axe-throwing PSVR missions that we could have done for that. Like, Capcom does such a great job. I've downloaded Resident Evil 4. I'm going to try that on PSVR 2 when I have time. I just felt that they brought PSVR 2 out and they didn't support it enough. And they relied on third parties and there wasn't enough for them. I felt that the messaging all year that we got wasn't the best. I don't think we got told enough about the future. Actually, you know what? We didn't get told about the future at all. We don't know what the future is besides Wolverine at this point and The Last of Us Part 2 coming in January. Like there's and Rise of the Ronin. We don't know much that's happening. And this hasn't been like this for PlayStation for a very long time. Now, I do think a lot of it had to do with everything going on with the Activision Blizzard thing. I truly, truly do think a lot of things were taken away or not talked about. Like, I think you can agree with me that PlayStation state, like, what was that
showcase that we had this year?
Like, it didn't even make it. Like, it was just like, what was?
Where's Little Devil Inside? It's an indie game that they've been talking about for years. Like, where is it?
Where's anything? And then when we got at the very end, I felt that throwing in that Gran Turismo and all that, it just felt all weird. It didn't feel what we've seen from PlayStation. Maybe we need PlayStation experience again. Maybe we just need to feel the good vibes again. But I need PlayStation to start talking about the future like they've always done in the past. Because right now, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I think this year, for the way that I look at it, it was very much a holding pattern year. They knew that they could rest on Spider-Man 2. They knew that they could rest on Final Fantasy 16. And again, not taking anything away from those games because a lot of people really love them both. I mean, rightfully so. But this year to me ended up feeling like, I think you're right. I think the Activision Blizzard, was definitely part of it. To me, I still think the after effects of COVID, I think this is the tail end of I think there was supposed to be a lot over the last few years that got pushed further and further back and kicked things further down. So to me, this is almost like the last wisps of the delays and the difficulties that came from those couple years, let alone on top of the Activision and on top of everything else. This to me felt like there was missteps. There was plans that I feel like were in place that kind of didn't end up coming together. There was things you and I heard about that should have been talked about, or things should have been shown much earlier than they ever were. Like there was confusing things this year that to me felt like they are in like hibernation mode right now, which is like, again, PlayStation 5 still selling like gangbusters. PSVR 2 sold out on launch. PlayStation Portal still sold out. It's been a month.
I can't get it. I thought for sure that would be something I could pick up later.
Me too. 100%. So for me this year, I felt like they were really kind of resting on their laurels, and they weren't really trying to push too much forward. I would have been happier if that showcase was just a state of play. I think the rebrand of it was completely unnecessary. It should have just been a state of play, and the expectations would have been set completely differently. So for me, I think this year ultimately was still a great year because of how many games were there, but it wasn't a great year as a PlayStation first party. Like in terms
even
of
saving that God of War trailer for Game Awards, like, all right, what, you know what? Announce The Last of Us Part 2 remake there. Do all the pre-order stuff there, considering the pre-orders just went live like the week before the Game Awards. At least give that God of War thing in the showcase, and we would have been like, oh my God, something cool. It was one of the loudest things we saw from the Game Awards. I wasn't there. Steve's in the chat. Steve, you can tell me like how loud it was, but like people were jacked by it. There was no wow moment in the showcase. And the fact that our biggest wow moment besides Spider-Man 2 and the PSVR 2 this year came in a minute and a half trailer during the Game Awards. Like,
Yeah.
What the? Even the way they announced the last, I understand that The Last of Us Part 2 got leaked, but they leaked it. It was on their store. It was in the back of their store. Data miners find these things all the time, so it was there. So yeah, see, it was loud for Valhalla DLC. Everybody, and it's free. Like Goodwill, amazing that it's free. But I need more. Like I need more PlayStation because Xbox is about to have Call of Duty. I'm really liking that game. That's a system seller. That game is a system seller. We're not getting Grand Theft Auto 6 for 2 years. So don't worry about that. So what do you got for me next year? And I hope it's Wolverine. I really hope it's Wolverine.
I just hope that we start hearing about whatever it is, because yes, now we at least have our first couple months of what we can expect between The Last of Us Part 2, Rise of the Ronin, and then there was another game that we just talked about coming out in April that I'm blanking. Oh, the Kinzaru game. There's cool
You
stuff,
talked
but
about
like
that. I did not talk about that.
Helldivers 2 that kicks off this year.
Oh yes,
February.
Sorry, yes.
Fair point as well. So we do have
that
the next
does
few
look
months.
very good.
It does look awesome, but again, it's coming on. It's launching in a month.
Service.
There's a ton of games around it though. There's so much around it that are going to swallow it up a little bit. So I'm curious to see if it's January, if it's February. Let me ask you this then. When do you think we get our next proper messaging from PlayStation? A state of play, a showcase. When do you think we get the next thing to be like, here's what you can expect this year? Like when is that coming?
Honestly, not until like April. Like
You think they're gonna wait that long?
Yeah, I think we're gonna get a state of play of like a little something something. I don't think we're gonna get like we haven't had like the PlayStation showcase of like this is how you trade games in forever. I don't think we're getting one until the end of the year.
Yeah, dude, FF7 Rebirth as well. Again, but that's third party support.
Third party support
is
again.
Huge. Yeah, again, it's huge.
Third party has carried them. They've carried them.
They have over the last year. Like 100%. And not to take away from Spider-Man 2. Again, phenomenal game.
My game of the year. My game of the year.
It's one game, right? So I'm curious as to when they're going to start talking about this properly, because I do hope that 2024 is the year where they're just like, PlayStation's back, baby. Here's X, Y, and Z. Here's all this stuff to be excited about. Here's all these things that you've been waiting for, because it feels this year has felt like a holding pattern.
Yeah.
And I hope we kind of break out of that in 2024.
It's very weird because PlayStation's usually the ones of like, here's everything. And the last year and a half, it's been Xbox, but like, here's what's coming, here's what's coming, here's what's coming, here's what's coming. And PlayStation's like, here's what's coming in the next 3 months. Here's what's coming in the next 6 months. But that's about it. And like the weird messaging of just doing a PlayStation blog to announce a lot of things, or, Shadow Drive. It's just so weird. It's un-PlayStation like. And like, it's great that these third parties and these other live service, but PlayStation is synonymous with single player action games or single player story driven games.
Yeah.
They had a commercial this year that had an Uncharted in it, and we didn't get to see that game. We have LinkedIn profiles up the wazoo letting us know that Ghost of Tsushima 2 is real, and they're still there. We still haven't heard anything or see, like, it's just, I'm not saying you have to, put something out quickly, because developers have said just doing these trailers takes a lot of effort. But like,
Mhm.
just say that they're coming, like just something. There is nothing that tells me I need to invest in the future.
Yeah, I'm like, again, I'm curious to see, because again, I do like here's the announcement and here it's coming soon. I do like that, but it's still nice to know what we can get excited about, what is coming down the line. I think a mix of both of those approaches is necessary.
Yep.
And right now we're not really getting either. Like at this point, they're not really talking to us at all. Like you mentioned, outside of like, here's a blog post, here's what you can be excited about. And again, this was a great year for gaming, a terrible year for the industry. And I feel like this year was just them being like, please be excited. There is more coming, but we'll talk about it at some point. But I'm hoping that starts to change. I also want to hit PlayStation Plus. So I'm going to pull in an article here from Game Rant, which listed out all of the essential games. Okay, January, we got Axiom Verge 2, Jedi Fallen Order, Fallout 76. February, we got Destiny 2 Beyond Light, Evil Dead the Game, Ollie World, and Mafia Definitive Edition. March was Battlefield 2042, Code Vein, and Minecraft Dungeons. April 2023 was Meet Your Maker, Sackboy, Tales of Iron. May was Chivalry 2, Grid Legends, and Descenders. June was Jurassic World Evolution 2, NBA 2K23, and Trek to Yomi. July was Alan Wake Remastered, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and Endling Extinction is Forever. August was Death's Door, PGA Tour 2K23, and Dreams. September, Saints Row Generation Zero, Black Desert. October was Callisto Protocol, Farming Simulator 2, and Weird West. And November, Aliens Fireteam Elite, Dragon Ball The Breakers, and Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. And then December, which was just recently announced, with Sable, Power Wash Simulator, and Lego 2K Drive. Court, we'll talk about premium and extra in a sec. But how do you feel about Essential in 2023?
One of the best years in Essential in a really long time. And that's the funny part, because like, we're not getting all these great announcements or first party games, but the Essential tier added a ton of value this year as the games that they brought out. It wasn't like it was a banger every month, but like, there was something for everyone. It's not like they focused on one kind of genre throughout the year. Like, I got PGA 2K23. I like that game. Like, they gave us stuff. Like, we usually get an NBA 2K almost every year, so that's like almost a given. But there was a lot of good games. Like, Sackboy is a great game. They didn't just mail it out. They did every couple months, but I've even said this before. Game Pass was like on this thing. And then when they got into this whole Activision Blizzard thing, it's like the whole what's coming to Game Pass like stopped, and PlayStation kind of brought out some better games to their service for a little bit than Game Pass did. For the longest time, I was always like, Game Pass is the better. It's still a great deal, but I think PlayStation Plus proved this year that their extra tier has value.
I do think okay, so extra has value. I think Essential is good.
I said extra.
Yeah, I think Essential had some good games this year, 100%. Yes. No doubt about it. I do think with the 30% price increase that we saw earlier this year, because of course we can't forget that was one of the biggest stories this year
I feel about it
on PlayStation. I know, but still, at Essential, I think is a pretty ridiculous thing to drive to put the price up and offer nothing more. I think that Essential, I think extra, if you're going to be coming into PlayStation Plus, assuming that your financials are not the primary thing holding you back, I still think extra is the place to be. In terms of, again, like you mentioned, there was a lot of great games that hit the service this year. There's a lot there for people who might be new to this ecosystem to come in and play. I still don't think premium's worth it. I feel like we're having the same conversation we had last year at this point, saying that extra is better, premium still doesn't have it. It's the same thing. They're trying to add TV shows and random Crunchyroll stuff to premium to somehow make it worth it. Still not. Extra is still the place to be for PlayStation Plus. And I think that, I think that next year, I'm really curious to see how this conversation is going to go, because there is a lot of people who are talking about, and I know a lot of people who have canceled their PlayStation Plus, and they will not be renewing because of the price increase and because of the lack of overall value. So I'm curious to see how they're going to react to stuff over the next year, because I do think they're going to see a drop as people's kind of PlayStation Plus subscriptions start to end, because I feel like a lot of people have still gotten in when the price was lower. And now as that price starts to increase and people are starting to feel that, I'm curious to see how that's going to change. I still think Extra is a great service. I think Game Pass is a great service. I'm curious to see how this is going to change next year and what else PlayStation might do to try and even it out, because right now it's extra or bust, in my opinion.
I'm right there with you. I have premium, but that's also a lot to do
Same.
with like we have a PlayStation show that we do, so I want to have everything available to me. But if I'm looking
Mhm.
at value and I'm talking as a parent here, extra has the value.
Yeah, 100%. Extra is definitely the way to go. But yeah, Court. We had a game of the year show. We recorded that. That's going to be coming out. But I want to hear about some of your favorite games on PlayStation this year. It doesn't have to be like this is 1, 2, 3, whatever. But hit me. What were some of your favorite PlayStation games this year, or games that you played on PlayStation?
I want to, because it was at the beginning of the year, I really did like the Horizon Burning Shores DLC. I thought they did a
Hmm.
phenomenal job. I totally get why it was PlayStation 5 only, but at the same time, I still think that's kind of a burn, pardon the pun, to the people
Yeah.
that bought it on PlayStation 4 and they had to wait till they can get it on PlayStation 5. But I thought
Hmm.
that was a phenomenal game to start the year off, and I really did enjoy my time with it. But other games that I played on, PlayStation 5 this year, NHL 24, obviously, MLB The Show, obviously, until I realized that I probably can't play that game ever again because it just literally makes me have serious injuries in my arm. Don't know what it is about the game, but just can't do it. I really liked Call of Duty. A lot of the stuff came at the end of the year. Assassin's Creed Mirage, I was a big
Hmm.
fan of this year. I truly really liked that game. Um, what else came? Jeez, my brain. The Crew Motorfest, actually, I really liked. That was a surprise
Hmm.
to me of a game that I didn't know I was gonna like that I did like. I did try a lot of games this year. I played Final Fantasy 16. I put a ton of hours in that game. It didn't work out for me, but I appreciate what the game is.
Hmm.
Um, I found my love for live service with Call of Duty and Fortnite, and that's great. I did hop into the Division 2 this year, and obviously, if I'm going to talk about my favorite game on the PlayStation this year, it's Spider-Man 2. I
Hmm.
finished it with my daughter. It's a very special game to me now. Um, well, minus the Venom part. She didn't play anywhere where we had Venom in the game for obvious reasons. But I really enjoyed my time with that game. I wish it was longer. Like, I wish there was just more to it. I wish I know we're gonna get story DLC. I hate that it always takes a year to get these things, but, Spider-Man 2 was amazing. There was a lot of great games I played on PlayStation. Those are just a couple that, off the top of my head right now when I'm trying to, like, bebot and scat those stuff out there. I probably
Yeah, just
forgot some, which is terrible. Oh, Seasons. I really like Seasons. That was also the
Mhm.
beginning of the year, and I remember how
Yep.
much I really enjoyed my time with that game.
Yeah, no, like I think so. Looking at my 2023 games list, I completed about 25 games this year across all the platforms. PlayStation had a bunch. Yeah, season was great. I liked the Dead Space remake for my
Oh,
first
see,
time.
now I'm forgetting stuff. I love
Yeah,
that game.
for the first time me ever experiencing Dead Space, I really quite enjoyed it. PSVR 2 again, I really liked Horizon Call of the Mountain. I
Oh,
loved Synapse. It is truly one of my favorite games this year.
Walkabout Mini Golf.
Walkabout Mini Golf again was just a fantastic time. Chia, John 32, Yon 32 in the chat, sending it out 100%. I was about to call that out too. Chia was a wonderful, wonderful game. I enjoyed it a lot. Beaver Fun, Court, how can we forget
Oh,
about Beaver
yeah,
Fun,
that game
which
was terrible.
lit the Discord up back in like March or April?
It's good plat,
Beaver
though.
Fun, it was a good plat. Um, I'm trying to see what else here. Trails to Azure, again, one of my favorite games this year. Follow up to From Zero, one of my favorite series. Jedi Survivor, dude. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned that,
See, like I said,
bro.
I didn't so, to preface everybody, I did not make the agenda for this week's show, so I didn't have time to prep for this, so it's all off the top of my head. You know what the worst part is? I just wrote an
What?
article for Console Creatures for Bobby that I talked about Jedi Survivor and Dead Space, two of my favorite games, and Jedi Survivor is probably my fourth or fifth favorite game this year. I will
Another
Phantom
game you really
and
liked?
Jesus, like I can't. I'm not good today. I wasn't on my game. Phantom Liberty is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend everybody to go play that game. If you own Cyberpunk 2077 and it's just collecting dust, try out 2.0, try out Phantom Liberty. That game is freaking amazing.
Yep. Resident Evil 4 remake. I'm so excited to hop into the VR mode as well. But that game really surprised me this year. I've mentioned Alan Wake 2 a bunch.
Oh,
Obviously,
I'm gonna
Spider-Man
lose
2 is
my
my
phone
game,
here.
my favorite game this year as well. Loved it dearly. Cold Steel 4, I finally got through and played. Trails into Reverie, the Avengers Endgame of the Trail series was just so special to me. There was so much, and there was like games that I didn't even get to finish. I didn't get to finish Sea of Stars, which I know a lot of people really loved.
Oh, and
I didn't get to
Bluey.
finish Armor.
Bluey's amazing.
Bluey.
Yeah.
Bluey was great. Armored Core is a game that I didn't get to finish but was enjoying. Like a Dragon Ishin is another game that like I need to go back to. I just haven't finished it yet. But I was really, really loving it. The Mega Man Battle Network collection, like there was so much here this year that I just feel like should be celebrated. Definitely some more stuff coming out here. Yawn 32, Jedi Survivor, and Hogwarts Legacy were great.
Oh Jesus!
Drellesh with Octopath
Man, it's
Traveler
just like
2.
I gotta go through my phone here. So Humanity, I really liked Humanity this year. That was a great game.
Your fave weeb with Cyberpunk 2077 was amazing. So much to love this year.
Jesus. Man. Dead Island 2, actually, I really enjoyed this year too. See, a lot of the stuff at the very beginning of the year that I just totally forget that I've even played. Horizon Call of the Mountain, Air Guitar Unplugged, Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge on PSVR 2.
Yes, dude, that game was great.
Yeah, I know, man. See, it's just like
I'm just pulling up my trophy list here. Yeah, Modern Warfare 3, you and I are still obsessed with it.
I didn't play Cold War Modern Call of Duty until this year too.
Pistol Whip on PSVR 2, really, really good. Just a blast. Again, we haven't even talked about Diablo 4. It was
I know. I saw it on my list. I didn't talk about it.
It was there.
Yeah, it was there for a week.
It existed.
Yeah.
Beat Saber finally hitting PSVR 2 as well. Beaver Fun, again, one of those seminal, I think probably our PlayStation Drive.
A game I'm playing right now with my daughter, Cat's Quest 2. I'm having a lot of fun with that. It's an old game.
There you go.
Loving it.
Yeah, dude, there was a lot to love this year that I feel like, deserve to be celebrated. Let's get into some questions and stuff here as well, because we got more love for the community as well. Again, if you want your questions on the show, hit us up. Discord, Twitter, X, YouTube comments, like Nagachaka did. What was your favorite PlayStation moment of 2023? He's got multiple questions, so let's start there. What was your favorite PlayStation moment of 2023?
I think it was the launch of PSVR 2.
Stole the words right out of my mouth.
Solely because I'd never done VR. So my excitement level was through the roof. I didn't own PlayStation VR. I didn't have the PSVR when it came out on PlayStation 4. I had a blast with it. I still have a blast with it. I'm just, as I said before, I'm just sad that it's not as many games as I want to come out for. But that was an excitement level for the year.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Oh, and the DualSense at the beginning of the year, DualSense Edge, I really like it. It's a year in January.
It's grown on me now too. Quite a bit. It's my go-to for playing shooters now. But yeah, PlayStation VR 2 was I was a huge supporter of the first one. I still really love the second one, and even just like the way that the text is developed. Super enjoyed it. And obviously the launch of Spider-Man 2 was just so special. Like it just awesome. Could it have been an announcement like God of War DLC, a first-party game launching like Spider-Man 2, no hardware, throw dropping like the Porter, or something totally personal to you, like your favorite platinum of 2023? I'm gonna augment this question. What was your favorite moment with your daughter on PlayStation this year?
Spider-Man 2. When she turned to me and said, "Daddy, I'm too sad to go to school." Because of that one mission in Spider-Man 2. It was the first time she ever felt something towards a video game. And then when we did I think it's Haley, the Haley mission where she's deaf, and my daughter was blown away on how immersive and amazing that was. That was the first time where she got her wow moment playing a video game. She plays a lot of games, loves her Dreamlight Valley, does all that. Spider-Man 2 was the very first wow moment for her. So that was very special to me.
I love that. I love that a lot. Drellesh writes in saying, "Greetings, Matt and Court. A single question this week. If you could preserve your favorite memory of being involved in or running the PlayStation Drive during this year, 2023, for future generations to enjoy, what moment comes to mind for you? What were some of your favorite PlayStation Drive moments?"
It's the easiest. The first to mind was when we all had our quest for all the platinums, and the amount of people that were getting bent out of shape because we were going for cheesy platinums just for fun, especially the Beaver game. Like the amount of people that went and got it in the community just to get the platinum to say that they had this platinum, and then the amount of like the trophy purists, they were like, "You can't do this," when like video games are about having fun and doing whatever the heck you want. There should be no gatekeeping on anything. Like if there's cheap, it's who cares? It was all about having fun, but I just love that for that like month, it was electric to be in the PlayStation Drive Discord because it was just mudslinging back and forth. It was fantastic.
I'm with you entirely. I loved the Beaver fun. That entire area of like the crappy Beaver Bobby that I made, and like it was just a wild ride for a little while there. I feel like the community really came together on the Discord this year. I feel like we really clicked and connected with a lot of folks. I genuinely loved Drellesh and Nagachaka taking over the PlayStation Drive on Carpool Gaming
That
Day
was
this
this
year. I
year?
thought that was yeah, dude.
You like totally forget, man.
Yeah, that was like a super special moment. Hanging out with them, like I was there for their recording, but like I was not like part of the episode, but just like watching them do their thing, and then like it warmed my heart immensely. I thought that was such a fantastic moment. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. There was a lot to love in the PlayStation Drive this year. Black Wyvern writing in saying, after a big game, I usually play a smaller one rather than jumping into another big game. That's how I discovered some hidden gems like Oxenfree and The Wolf Among Us. Currently playing Deliver Us to the Moon, thanks again to Ash Trobot, which I'm enjoying. My questions. Do you have any preferences on the types of games or order that you play them in?
I jump all over the place, so there's no order. But if I play like like after I had a little bit of burnout from Final Fantasy 16, and as I said to you, I was like, I need something to just be like, so I went in and finished Psychonauts 2. I'd finished it originally on the Xbox, so I bought it on the PlayStation. I knew that I would get a lot of enjoyment out of it. It's a platformer to get me back in the groove. Like, Stella needs a groove back. Like I needed to get back into it because I was on a high with Final Fantasy 16, and then I got it to like lows where I just didn't even want to play games anymore. And I'm just like, oh my God. But I think now those games that are palate cleansers that I can jump into just to turn my brain off are those live service games. And I think that's why I like them. So if I'm having a stressful day, I can play around a Call of Duty and shoot up a bunch of people and mute the chat, by the way. Like, I highly recommend to mute all the chat, but I have a lot of fun just doing that.
Yeah, I'm the same way, Black Wyver. I usually like, as someone who plays a lot of big, long JRPGs, like I usually have like a palate cleanser in between, whether it's what is now becoming live service games to hop in and play just a Call of Duty for a little while, just to kind of, play something else. But I've played a bunch of short games as well. Oxenfree was exactly one of those games for me too. It was one of those games that I played in between other stuff that I really loved. Some of my favorites from this year, again, Chia was adorable. Chia. A Space for the Unbound is an incredible game. Not very long. Loved it. Season, I think, is another great one to recommend, because his next question is, do you have any recommendations for any short games to play between big games?
And Artful Escape.
Season, Stray, if you haven't yet. Artful Escape is another one that I hear really good things about. There's a lot to love there. There's quite a few.
I'm having a great time with it. It is absolutely whatever, but it's great.
Dude, Sifu was that for me as well, coming off of Monarch, which was definitely a thing. But there's lots of love there. And Black Wyver ends off with saying, happy holidays and enjoy the break. Thank you. You too, my friend. I hope you stay well and have a great time. David Pietrangelo at Dave Petro, our good old friend Dave, writes in saying, hi, PlayStation Drive, long time, first time.
Don't call me.
Best game I played came out a couple years ago with Returnal. I'm happy I subbed to PlayStation Plus for now, but with that price increase, I'm not willing to continue when mine renews in the spring. Big 2023 miss in my eyes. Again, fair point. One of PlayStation. So some things that he loved and some things that he didn't. Ed Varnell at the Boss Rush Network at that retro code writes in saying, do we see any new IP from Sony first party teams in 2024? And which game would you rush to play if they made a comeback? Warhawk, Loaded, or Beyond the Beyond? I don't know any of those games. Same. Warhawk sounds familiar.
Warhawk sounds familiar, with the rest of that I don't know what they are. Obviously my answer is always going to be the same. It's Infamous. You listen to me enough that they remake the game. Do we see any new IP from PlayStation in 2024?
Yeah.
No, because they would have announced it by now. I think we'll get announcements. I don't think they get a release of a new IP. Something, not a sequel, new IP. No, I don't think we get a new IP in 2024 from PlayStation first party.
Really? I'd be shocked if we end 2024 from PlayStation without a new IP.
Unless I think you're right. Wolverine. Unless Wolverine in the fall. Unless Wolverine comes out in the fall. But right now, I think we'll get sequels. We'll get that kind of stuff that we're expecting. I don't think we'll get announcements of new IPs. I don't think we get a new IP in 2024.
I think we'll definitely get announcements, but I don't know, dude. I think we will see a new IP from them
I hope so, dude. And I don't want like third party console exclusive stuff. I want first.
You want a new first party? I think
I want Sony Ben to drop a game.
Yeah,
give me a game, Sony Ben.
And in terms of the other games, Warhawk is a multiplayer shooter. like a plane shooter. You fly planes.
Yeah, but if they're going to be bringing back a shooter, I want SOCOM.
Loaded is a sci-fi shooter as well from the PS1 days, and Beyond the Beyond is a PS1 JRPG. Okay, I want the JRPG. Yeah. I don't have that. I'm in. Fulia writes in saying, "What game or games are you most looking forward to in 2024?"
Well, easy answer for me is NHL 25. That's an easy answer.
Okay.
MLB The Show 24. Another easy answer. I am very. I don't even want to say this because then Matt gets like all giddy in his face, but I'm very excited again to play The Last of Us Part 2 on the PlayStation 5 and try out all the game modes and do the lost levels and so on and so forth. I am very excited for that. I am extremely excited to play The Division Heartland. We will be getting that next year at some point. And I am extremely excited to play the new Assassin's Creed because we are going to be getting one next year at some point. But I do feel like I don't know a lot of what's coming next year at this point. And it's really weird that we don't know as much as we usually do. Like, there's no confirmation that Wolverine's coming next year. If it is, I'm all over it. I'll go out on them here.
Outlaws, bro.
Oh, Jesus, very excited to play that. Very excited to play that. Prince of Persia. I'm excited to get the Living Daylights kicked out of me.
Hell yeah.
Because I've been playing that since the Commodore 64 days, for God's sakes. But there's a lot of games that are coming that are just like sequels or, live service. Sure, I'm excited for it. But is there like this, oh my God, besides maybe Star Wars and Wolverine? Spider-Man DLC. I think we're getting it next year. I think that's a given.
I'm stacked on 2024 already, but in the first 2 months, I'm getting like Dragon 8, Persona 3 Reload, and then
hold on, isn't Dragon Age
Fantasy 7 Rebirth
coming out next year?
Did we get confirmation of that? Did they date that? I feel like they may have dated it on the trailer with 2024, but I might be full of it. Yeah, Prince of Persia, obviously I'm stoked on. Between Like a Dragon, Persona, and Final Fantasy all hitting within a month of each other, I'm unbelievably excited. And Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. If you haven't seen Midas's video on it, a bunch of info there. It looks great. I'm
summer 2024. I am more details in summer 2024. I am not getting this game.
You're not getting that game.
It's never happened.
Star Wars Outlaws, I'm amped about. That seems awesome as well. I'm just trying to take a look through a list here of stuff that we know is coming. But yeah, there's plenty that we don't have dates on. But like for me, I could just get Persona, Like a Dragon, and Final Fantasy, and you're probably looking at my top 3 games next year already. I'm unbelievably excited. I just hope we get more on PSVR 2. Because geez, I'm amped for next year. I cannot wait. And all in the first 2 months. Say goodbye to free time for me. I'm probably gonna just go into a hole and you won't see me for a little while. Your fave weeb in the chat. I think best 2023 Sony game was Returnal, even though the original game was actually released in 2021. A lot of people love Returnal. I also love that game. Great time. And our final question, of course, coming from the final question king, Steve Vigvari at S Vigvari, writing in saying,
I didn't even read this because I couldn't see your tweet.
Long time, first time. Here's my PlayStation review of 2023. Ambitious, innovative, and high quality. Say what you will about PSVR 2 and Portal. They helped support a solid year of software.
It was a software year. He's not wrong. It's a software year. Like we said, our biggest highlights were 2 things of software, right? It was PSVR 2 and DualSense. And Spider-Man. It's hardware.
And now...
No, hardware year, not software year. Jesus, Murphy.
No, he said supported by software.
Support. Yeah, it was supported by third parties, but sure.
And to end things off, as is tradition with his actual question. Also, if P is number 1 and Poo is number 2, what's 3 through 5?
What?
If P is number 1, you're saying I'm going number 1. If you're saying I'm going number 1, you're gonna go take a P. You say I'm doing a number 2, you're gonna go take a Poo. What is 3, 4, and 5? Number 3, I think.
You can go.
I feel like number 3
can't be a mixture of pee and poo. You can't cop over here.
No, you can't. I was gonna say I think 3 might be a vomit. I might be a throw up.
Yeah, I think throw up. Number 3.
I'm gonna go 3 up. You know what I mean? That could be like.
Sure, it doesn't need a number, but like, hey,
I'm gonna go 3 up.
Can't say I'm gonna.
No, you didn't need to number it.
No, I know. I get that. I agree. I think throwing up. So, are we going on the I almost feel like we should have brought Steve in for this question just so he could give more background to it, because like, is it have to be in the bathroom 3, 4, and 5?
I feel like it has to be toilet related.
Okay.
I feel
All
like
right.
if we're talking like both 1 and 2 are dependent on
And
the
we're
toilet.
not on the 3 dads
Unless
here, so
you're-
I can say whatever I want. So like 4 as a male or 5 could be smashing one off for sure because you're in the bathroom.
Do you do that on the toilet?
Well, why not? If you're there and you got the phone,
What do you mean? Hold on. What do you mean? That's not something you don't. That's not something
wherever. When you were a child, when
homework
you were a kid living at home with your parents, you got nowhere else to go. Sometimes you just go in the bathroom.
on the toilet.
You're not going to the bathroom.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? You're just sitting in the room that's the bathroom. You just got privacy.
But
It's
this
a
is
locked door.
toilet based.
Oh, going
fine.
bam bam in the toilet. Oh, putting it in the toilet. Okay, no, okay. If it
We're
has
just
to go
on the
in the
toilet.
toilet, so what? You can sit on a toilet seat.
Fair
Why are you so grossed out about this? Yeah, you know I'm right. If you're saying you never did it, I don't believe you. So like,
No, then I think okay. Hold on. Then I think we should make that a number 5.
okay, number 5, sure. But you get what I'm saying, right? You're in the that
Fine.
makes way more sense. Full hand. That makes sense.
I'm telling
So
you.
number
Full
4.
hand.
So we've got throw up.
So number 4. I think 4. I think we need to be inclusive here. I think 4 needs to be like period menstruation related. You know, 1 through the
well,
girlies.
you know what?
You know what I
is
mean?
pretty good. So then we've got
Exactly.
we've got pee, poo, throw up,
Throwing up,
menstruation,
period, jacking off.
and masturbation. Yeah, because it could be.
Yeah.
We got
All
to
the
be inclusive
Asians.
here. We got to be inclusive here.
Masturbation, menstruation,
Throwing
ventilation out of your stomach,
up. Ooh.
defecation.
Well, it's the only way to
urination.
go. Like
I did it.
I don't think there's any other like. What else can you do in the bathroom?
What else can you do in the bathroom?
No, like it's besides you could play video game. Like I'm gonna go. Nah, that's not cool. It's not funny. I can't do that. Actually, I don't like bringing my phone in the bathroom anymore. It's like a new thing. I don't bring my phone in the bathroom.
Okay, I'm proud of you.
Well, because so everybody does it. Like, right? It's the first thing you do. It's you pull out your phone, right? Don't.
In the chat. Oh, okay, hold on. In the chat, Fave Weeb actually aligned with us 3 vomit, 4 period, 5 birth. I guess
No,
you can do that on the toilet.
no. Stop. This is coming from people. That doesn't. No.
No toilet births. We're not including that in the top 5. But Court, that brings us to the end of the show for 2023. Again, love you lots. Excited for more adventures with you together in the future. We have plenty more things and worlds to conquer and astros, universes to wish for.
Imagine we get that.
Watch, we get that. What? And sorry, not what. Where can people find more of your Court?
You can honestly, you can find me on social media, but I'm really not there that much lately. I don't know what it is about X. It's just become a drain on my brain. I'm on Threads a lot more.
So many less bots, right? So many less bots.
Well, I think my issue with X right now is like half like I was showing Matt and like other friends, their tweets aren't showing up now. It's saying that they're like limited for some reason, or like there's something wrong with the tweet, and then they go into it and there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's not what it used to be. There's a lot of people complaining about it, but at the same time, it's not. Darn, my wife asked what we were talking about. Oh well,
dude. You show your wife the show at the worst times, Drellesh.
Yeah,
this is seriously. Like a recurring thing this year. The worst times. They're always during Steve's
the poo. Yeah, Steve's. Yeah, it's very end.
Always Steve's questions.
But I don't know. You know what? If you want to find me, hit me up on Discord, message me, and you can find me when we usually do the PlayStation Drive or every Wednesday at 8 p.m. live on YouTube doing 3 dads in a console.
And I'll put his address in the comments if you want to go say hi.
Do not to.
You can find me on X over at Matt_SilverSoul. And of course, you can find us here each and every week on the PlayStation Drive. We appreciate all of your support, but of course, we have to thank our wonderful, wonderful patrons. Thank you for the support over the course of the last year. We appreciate all of you so very much. But we got to shout out our ultimate producers, Tony Baker, who you can find at youtube.com/quest4pixels. Jonathan Brown, his link tree is pme.jib. Lee Navarro, who is obviously the fearless leader of the Phoenix Overdrive Extra Life team. Catch him at phoenixoverdrive.com. The homie Trucker Sloth and the homie Cwagmire, who reminds you that the best babes are Xenobabes. Our platinum producer, Jonas Young, and our gold members, Adam K., Anna, Bowsah, Brian Eck, Brian Reese, Cecily Carrozza, Dan and Luma, Dannohh, Drellesh, Emily O'Kelly, Hoppel, John 32, aka Yon 32, Marcus O'Neill, MoSpankins, Peje EP, ScheiGuy, and Tim Aulph. Thank you, everybody. Have a safe and happy holidays. I hope all of the things you want come true, and we will see you next year. Peace.